Hey guys, today is the 29th of June 2025, and it is my last day in Belfast. I'm flying out tomorrow from Dublin to Halifax, Nova Scotia, and I have to stride out from my room at like 4:50 in the morning. I'll probably leave at 4:30, in fact, walk into town with a bag, and then get on a bus to Dublin Airport, and then get on a flight to Nova Scotia, and then my father will meet me on that side. Also, in my game, this is the turn when I will. This is the turn when I will. My probes will hit the moon. So I was talking about doing two different, cutting this turn in half, but it's not going to be that busy. There's a chance I might just not do that. Let's say. Just explain the moon to you in the later half of this video. Maybe it'll go a bit long because it's the last one. Now I might still do some kind of a redux. I'll describe how that might match with my real life here in a wee minute, but that's not off the table. So yeah, in terms of might do a bit of a redux, I'm going to Nova Scotia. Then I'm going to spend just a couple days. I'll see my father's land here in Tangier. Then I'll go up and meet his cousin there in Cape Breton. And then we will fly from Halifax over to this wee spot right here by the name of Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls, I'll see my entire extended family for the first time since Trump came in, and they're all going to be freaked out, and I'll probably need to assuage people and make plans and be the best place to not be in America of all my family. Then I will drive with my aunt into the USA and over to her place in Cape Cod. And I figure, I mean, I'm always a bit leery of going into the USA. I think it'll be fine, but I think it'll be better if I'm coming in a car and I'm surrounded by American passport-holding family members and I'm not exhausted from an all-night intercontinental flight. I think this will be the right way to go into America right now. None of my nuclear family is, well, my mother and sister aren't setting foot in America at all. But I'm going to try my luck. It'll also give me a chance to see what the vibe is like in America, which I think will be pretty important. Now, in terms of my life here in Belfast, I have, okay, let me first do a bit of science. Boom, boom. The science is no longer something I'm really gunning for as much, but I'm still trying to hit some targets. My life here in Belfast, my sales team, I'm leaving them on their own for the first time. And I'm going only for 3 weeks. I'll be back after this North America adventure. So I'm kind of doing a practice run, see how well they do without me. And I'm hoping for the best. William's very much going to be fine. He's keen, but he is worried about how Ryan will do. I'm not as worried as he is, but I am a bit worried. We'll see even tomorrow morning if Ryan's sober enough to do his fucking job. And then I'm going to go back to Kenya and get a container together, and I just need them to have a deal by the time the container ships. So if they are functional, I'll be quite confident. If they're not functional, I have a backup plan that I might be able to tell you about once I'm in Kenya. Another key thing in Kenya is this trees guy I've mentioned on briefly. I'm going to involve myself quite a bit more in making sure that works out for me, let's say, the tree business. I think there's a huge potential there, and I need to see it across the line. So my moon probe will land in 4 days, and hopefully I'll be in a position to crack down the Spanish. Then my moon probe lands, and then I'll still have a good few minutes to describe to use what I think about the moon in the game, and that'll be a nice little bit to end it. I might do a segue in between before the next season of my recordings while I'm on the road, maybe while I'm back in Belfast next time. We'll see how it goes. And public sentiment is increasingly with us. That's cool. So as you can see, Mr. Red Hand has locked down his Spanish holdings, so I'll probably need to get... The good news is he's a man who has very little popularity in Spain, so it'll be easier to break him through that than it would be for someone who has like this Mr. Triangle has 13% of the UK, so it'll be harder to crack him than it'll be to crack Mr. Hand. But I do want to get all of these soon enough. What I want to get here is just this, the key control point, the executive control point, and then I'll have 180 days like I already have here. It's ticking down. Alright, I just cracked down Spain. Now, the problem, as you can see, is that I don't have enough control points to hold all the cracked points in Spain and Belgium, which is a worry for me. But this is one of the reasons. So I'm doing a bit of looting the place because I want to get. There's a new org that's opened up with 5 control points baked into it, which I would love to acquire, and I think that would make everything a lot easier for me to hold. But any minute now, we're going to see a landing on the moon event, which should be pretty major. And good. Probe arrives on the moon. Alright, now I don't want to fuck up this recording, because this is my first time I'm looking at this. And I have 6 more minutes to describe to you more or less what's going on the moon. So, there's a lot. Basically, the moon always has plenty of metal, or always has some metal. There's a couple really chunky metal sites. There's a good few chunky metal sites. What there's a bunch of is this green, this stuff up here, the fissile materials. The moon is swarming with fissile materials. There's a really good site formed there. There's a solid site there. This site looks pretty solid, Tchaikovsky crater. But everyone's going to get plentiful fissiles. There's only the one source of noble metals, which is golds and titaniums and stuff that doesn't react. So one of the cool things about this game is how this works. They don't tell me what resources are on the moon. And the idea is when I'm building things, I can just replace iron, use iron, aluminum, tin interchangeably, use nitrogen, phosphorus, ammonia interchangeably. Water is what it is. And then this is uranium and thorium clumped together. Gold, titanium, platinum are clumped together. And so the conceit is that if I'm all my space-based assets I make up here are not requiring a specific material, but rather just easy going about if I'm giving them tin, or if I'm giving them copper, or if I'm giving them iron, whatever it may be. So all the building metals are lumped together, all the exotica, low reaction metals are clumped together, all the radioactives, all the chemically reactives, and then water. And the moon is quite variable what it has. So this Shackleton crater has all the water on the moon with one small exception. And I think I'm going to be in a position, based on my boost, to try and get maybe 3 of the slots on the moon. So maybe Shackleton crater, Mare Tranquillitatis, and then Tchaikovsky crater would give me a lot of value for what's on the moon. And in fact, I don't really want to unzip the game. What I want to do is lay claim. So yeah, each outpost is going to put me back 6.6. So that's 12, 13.2, 19.8. So I don't quite have enough for 3, but I will very shortly get my 3rd. So what I do is I grab Shackleton crater, because the water's going to be huge. That's a huge amount of water in the Shackleton crater, actually. Shackleton crater. That's the Jimmy. That's the south pole of the moon. We know there to be water there. The game will always give you quite a bit of water there. And then I want to build another one. And the another one, let's put it at Mare Tranquillitatis, because that has all the gold on the moon. And then I think in 4 days, so even before the end of this, so let's go back to running the simulation. And then in a couple of more days here, I'm going to push past. I'm probably going to get up to 12 minutes. That's not going to be the end of the world. But basically I want this... Oh, in fact, it's 6 more days, so it won't be the end of this simulation. Social Science Lab. So this is going to be what? I spend all my moon resources on will be that social science lab. Now I'm going to get the institutional research. I'm going to run it fast like that. All is well. Jimmy Carter and Cicero. I'm going to rename those while you're not watching me. But, alright, it's going to be 11 minutes. That's interesting. I'm going to have to fight for Saudi Arabia, but that'll be something I do. They have no popularity in Saudi Arabia. And in fact, before the end of this episode, I am in a position to grab this Intrepid Consulting. So let me do that. Let me do it with my scientist, because I want him to have a good admin for when he starts administering stuff. Boop. Scientist online. And this will allow me to get all these stupid things like Saudi Arabia and Spain and Netherlands. And then once I start unifying is when I'll go for the English. So that's cool. Let me finish out the turn. And this is the end of the episode. Nigeria, sure. I can take back Nigeria very easily because I have the will of the people, very much so. But I will turn off welfare. .4. In fact, yeah. At the beginning of next turn, I'm going to go and get that third moon base, unless if someone else has claimed it, which is not off the table. I think I get a bit of an advantage because I won the race for the tech. So yeah, I still am well in a position to get a third moon base at Tchaikovsky. And that'll be quite rigorous. Tchaikovsky will get me my nuclear and my green and my red resources. Alright, cool. So that'll be it. I will see you guys in a month, or 6 weeks, or 3 days, or whatever it happens to be. See you guys.